Now to the stunning death of a professional race driver and TV host, Jessi Combs, known as the fastest woman on four wheels. She died in a crash trying to break her own land speed record in Oregon. You see how fast she goes there. The accident occurring as she raced across a dry lake bed, trying to go more than 500 miles per hour.
Jessi Combs was more than a racer. She was a master fabricator, a fearless TV personality, and an icon of speed and innovation. Her untimely death in 2019 during a land speed record attempt left the motorsport world stunned and grieving. Now, 6 years later, new details about her final moments have emerged, stirring both sorrow and respect for her legacy. It showed her pursuit of speed was never just about records, but about proving what was possible. Join us as we revisit her story and the impact she left behind.
It's the most difficult thing to explain because you can't even compare it to flying in an airplane that's already, you've probably flown an airplane that's going 700 miles an hour, but you can't tell because you're in the air. So when you're on the ground, you have things to gauge how fast you're going. You have the feeling of still being on the ground, so it's bumpy, but it's like this ultimate feeling of pure freedom, yet you're still in complete control of the situation.
On August 27, 2019, Jessi and her team gathered on Oregon's Alvord Desert to attempt the record that had long been her dream, to become the fastest woman on land. The desert floor stretched wide and flat under the afternoon sun, appearing serene but carrying hidden risks at speeds few human beings will ever experience. Jessi climbed into the North American Eagle, a jet-powered land speed car built from a Lockheed F-104A starfighter fuselage. This was not the first time she had piloted the car, but it was to be the most critical. Her goal was to surpass the two-way average speed required by Guinness World Records. Witnesses recalled the car thundering across the playa, streaking with astonishing force as it neared 550 miles per hour. Then, disaster struck. Investigators later concluded that a front wheel failed after striking an object on the desert surface. At such velocity, the failure caused catastrophic instability. The car disintegrated in seconds, fire consuming what remained. According to the reports, Jessi died instantly from blunt force trauma before the fire overtook the vehicle. Her final run, though fatal, had also achieved what she had set out to do. Though Jessi Combs' life ended in tragedy, her goal was realized posthumously. In June 2020, Guinness World Records officially certified her speed at a little over 522 miles per hour, confirming her as the fastest woman on land. The news carried with it both celebration and sorrow. On one hand, Jessi had achieved the milestone she had pursued for years, demonstrating the skill and courage that defined her career. On the other hand, the recognition came after her death, depriving her of the chance to hold the certificate in her hands and savor the triumph she had earned. For her family and team, the Guinness certification was bittersweet validation. It meant that her sacrifice was not in vain, and that the record books would remember her as she had always wanted, a racer who pushed beyond limits. The figure itself was staggering, eclipsing Kitty O'Neill's long-standing women's land speed record of 512 miles per hour set in 1976, while the absolute land speed record remains higher, set by Andy Green's supersonic thrust SSC at 763 miles per hour in 1997. Jessi's mark represented the pinnacle for women and a remarkable human accomplishment in its own right. The acknowledgement also reinforced the fact that land speed racing is not about momentary bravado, but about years of meticulous work. Jessi's multiple attempts, her earlier record runs in 2013 and 2016, and her tireless preparation culminated in this achievement. 6 years after her death, Jessi Combs' story continues to inspire. In 2025, her legacy is most visible through the Jessi Combs Foundation, which was established to honor her mission of empowering women in the skilled trades and motorsports. The foundation's motto, Educate, Inspire, Empower, encapsulates her life philosophy. Rather than focus solely on her record, the organization invests in the future by awarding scholarships and mentorships to women entering fields such as welding, fabrication, automotive restoration, and diesel technology. In 2025, JCF once again opened its scholarship application window, giving a new generation of young women the chance to carry Jessi's spirit into their own careers. The foundation's impact has grown steadily since its inception. Recipients describe the awards as transformative, not only because of the financial support, but also because of the confidence they instill. Many women enter male-dominated industries with self-doubt, uncertain whether they belong. A scholarship in Jessi's name provides reassurance that they do. It is a tangible reminder that someone who once faced the same barriers paved the way for them. Before she became known as the fastest woman on land, Jessi Combs built a career on her technical skills and her ability to communicate them to a wide audience. She was trained as a metal fabricator at Wyotech, where she honed the craft that became her calling card. Unlike many television personalities who fronted automotive shows, Jessi could actually do the work. Her expertise set her apart, and soon she became a familiar face on programs like Extreme 4x4, Overhaulin', All Girls Garage, and even Mythbusters. On these shows, she didn't just stand in front of the camera, she picked up the tools, bent the metal, and executed the jobs with the precision of a seasoned craftsperson. Her visibility on television had a ripple effect. For countless young viewers, especially girls, Jessi was the first example they saw of a woman thriving in a space often reserved for men. She broke stereotypes by showing that the shop floor and the racetrack were not gendered domains but arenas for skill, creativity, and passion. Her presence made the idea of entering trades or motorsport less intimidating for women who had never seen someone like themselves represented there. Jessi's authenticity was the key to her appeal. She combined charm and relatability with competence, embodying a role model who was approachable but also formidable. Her career was not about fame for its own sake, but about using the platform to promote craftsmanship, hard work, and perseverance. This credibility translated directly into her racing career, where she was respected not only for her achievements, but also for her commitment to doing the work required to earn them. The machine that carried Jessi into the record books was as sensational as the driver herself. The North American Eagle project began with a retired Lockheed F-104A Starfighter, a supersonic jet once used by the U.S. Air Force. Stripped of its wings and adapted with custom wheels, steering hydraulics, and braking systems, the jet was reborn as a land-speed vehicle designed to challenge some of the most enduring records in motorsport. The car measured 56 feet in length and weighed nearly 7 tons, a needle-shaped missile on wheels built to withstand forces few vehicles ever encounter. Jessi's involvement with the team began in the early 2000s, and by 2013 she had already set a women's four-wheel land speed record at 398 miles per hour. 3 years later, she raised that bar to 483 miles per hour, proving that the vehicle had the capacity to go faster and that she had the skill to control it. These attempts were not casual dalliances, but carefully orchestrated tests, each one pushing the car, the crew, and the driver closer to the limits of physics. The 2019 attempt represented the culmination of years of work. The Alvord Desert, long used for speed trials, was chosen for its vast, flat surface. But no natural environment is ever completely free of hazards, as the crash demonstrated. At nearly supersonic speeds, even a small imperfection can destroy a vehicle. The years since Jessi's death have been marked by remembrance and reinterpretation. In 2022, HBO released the documentary The Fastest Woman on Earth, which chronicled her final years and her journey with the North American Eagle team. The film offered an intimate look at her determination, showing viewers that her pursuit of the record was not about reckless thrill-seeking, but about calculated ambition. It depicted the countless hours of preparation, the sacrifices, and the personal stakes involved in chasing a dream that was as dangerous as it was alluring. Institutions such as the Peterson Automotive Museum have hosted tributes and exhibits dedicated to her, ensuring that her story is preserved for future generations. Within the motorsport community, her name has become shorthand for courage and professionalism. Online, her memory lives on through an endless stream of tributes and messages shared on the anniversary of her death. By 2025, her influence is not waning but expanding, carried forward by the foundation, the media, and the countless individuals inspired by her journey. Her record remains unchallenged, her foundation thrives, and her example continues to empower. In 2025, her legacy is less about how her life ended and more about how it continues to change the lives of others. She remains a symbol of courage in the face of risk, proof that dreams pursued with integrity can leave a mark long after the dreamer is gone.